Mabuhay! This is Miss Pitikwen of Home Economics, and this is a continuation of our orientation this afternoon if we were not interrupted by the internet connection issues. All right. So again, welcome to the new normal. Uh, let's start. So this is where we stop. Our objective for today, what is home economics? Today you'll know what is home economics again or revisit it, the grading system, the mini courses, our modalities, and the home economics department grade 8. So to begin with, the home economics is a domestic science or the home science. It's a field of study that deals with the relationship between individuals, families, communities, and the environment in which they live. Alright, ang home economics ay isang subject na kung saan domestic daw siya. Ibig sabihin ng domestic e pangbahay or home science. Ano tumutulong sa mga individual, pamilya at community. So I know last year na tinuruan kayo ng inyong home economics teacher na ng 4 na courses. If I am not mistaken, there you had household services, beauty care, nail care, handicrafts, and lastly, caregiving. This year, you will be dealing with 4 different mini courses as well. So without further ado, this is my avatar anyway. Welcome to TLE Home Economics Grade 8. Okay, I need you to have a screenshot of this screen, and then I need you to find me any of the things written in the pieces of paper here. For example, in scissor, thread, and needle, I need you to bring me any of the following. Just one, okay? Just one will do, and then have it with you. So either you can have the needle, the thread, or the scissor. Here, you can have any of these, and these three as well. Once you get these things, one of these things, have them with you and then take a picture of it and then send it to me in our group chat. This has something to do with the different courses you will be encountering this grade 8. So what are those courses? For your first quarter, okay, wait. For the first quarter, you will have dressmaking or tailoring. You will relearn the different stitches, how to measure uh, the body or take the body measurements of a client, create create projects, design, applying the proper principles of design. Hindi lang yung makapag-design lang. That is just making it hindi na kayo gagastos dito ng masyado kasi meron na kayong gamit last year sa handicrafts. And yung mga tela, pwede yung tira nyo last year or yung mga lumang uniform na wala nang gagamit, pwede yun na gupitin. Okay, for the second quarter, you will have cookery. Here in cookery, you will learn the basics of cookery, the tools, the measurements, papaano kayo tutubo sa ginawa niyong pagkain. You will learn that in second quarter. There will be different activities that will involve your parents as well. So make sure that you tell them that they will be involved. Okay. For the third quarter, yun, hairdressing. For the hairdressing, you will need the different tools, basic tools like different types of combs, clips, duck clips, and other tools that will help you in basic hairdressing. And then lastly, in the fourth quarter, you will have front office services. Ano nga ba yung front office services? Front office services, as you can see in the picture, nasa hotel. 'Di ba? Every time na pupunta tayo sa hotel, sa mall, or saan pa ba? Sa mga restaurant, 'di ba pumupunta muna kayo sa isang desk or table doon. So, here in fourth quarter, you will learn the different basics of front office services. Hindi yung naglilinis sa hotel, ha, yung trabaho doon sa desk sa hotels. That is what we call the front office. Alright. So, these are the contents of grade 8 dressmaking. Ayan, content standards. The learner demonstrates understanding in the use of sewing tools in dressmaking. The learner independently uses tools in dressmaking and tailoring. Ibig sabihin, kayo ang gagamit. So, ayan yung mga matututunan ninyo. And that is for 2 weeks. Sa susunod na mga linggo, the learner demonstrates understanding and carrying out measurements in dressmaking and tailoring. So, magme-measure kayo ng mga katawan para kapag gagawa kunyari ng damit. Ganon. Ayan yung mga matutunan nyo. Obtain measurements, take accurate body measurements, read and record required measurements, apply the systems of measurements, and another learning will be reading specifications, apply the principles of design and color harmony. So, yung sinasabi ko tungkol sa design. And this will be for 3 weeks. And then the last part, ayun. Basic maintenance of sewing, observe proper handling and cleaning the machine, resolve common machine troubles, follow the safety procedures in machine cleaning, perform regular maintenance schedules. Meron pa palang isa. The learner demonstrates understanding and practicing occupational self and healthy in dressmaking. Ito yung hazards and risks. Okay, that is for 1 week and that will be the last. Alright, about our modalities, there are 2 who can unscramble these letters. The first type of modality is a very good synchronous modality. Next, very good asynchronous modality. Kanina, kung hindi tayo na-interrupt ng internet connection, that will be synchronous kasi you are all there listening to me at the same place, at the same time. At the same time lang pala. And then asynchronous is this. Kung kailan nyo man ito mababasa or mapapanood, hindi kayo sabay-sabay, that is asynchronous method of teaching and learning. Ayun, ang difference niya, synchronous modality occurs when students learn the same thing at the same time, online or offline. While asynchronous occurs when students learn the same thing at different times and from different places. Katulad nga nito. Alright, during our asynchronous, make sure that you are already logged in before 9 in the morning. Okay? You need to be notified or check the FB groups every morning. This is our FB group. This is our FB group. Sorry for that. Make sure na member kayo nito kasi aside from your Google Classroom, kasi dito sa FB group natin, dito ako nag-share ng mga links aside sa Google Classroom. Dito ako nagsasabi sa inyo, you can now log in for your attendance or you can now log out or for example, may pinost ako sa classroom ninyo na hindi nyo pa nakikita. Dito ko na siya sinasabi. Hindi ko masabi isa-isa sa group chat kasi madami kayo. So, make sure na naka-login kayo o kasama kayo dito sa group na to. Ito yung pangalan ng group natin, Home Economics 8, sections 5, 10, 16, 17, and 26. So, lahat kayo ay nandiyan. Dapat. Okay? Another type of asynchronous learning natin is yung this, your Google Classroom. So, make it a habit of checking our FB group and your Google Classroom. So, ano yung mga naka-circles? Yung naka-circle ng red, ito yung una kong binilugan talaga. Ayan yung mga attendance. Tapos, ito, kapag may nakita kayong kulay blue, ibig sabihin yan, material yan or quiz na nasa classwork. Ito yung classwork, nasa taas, nakabilog ng kulay violet. Okay? Let's see your classwork. Ayun. Sa classwork ninyo, nakikita nyo yung quizzes and tests, pati yung mga materials na pinost ko. Itong vision lecture na to, ako mismo yung nagle-lecture dyan. Make sure na napanood ninyo kasi hindi lang ako nagbasa sa video na yan. I explained it well. Okay? Hindi lang yan yung nakasulat sa module na nasa inyo. May explanation yan katulad ng pag-explain kapag magkakaharap tayo. Since hindi naman tayo magkakaharap, so video ko. Kaya make sure talaga na napanood nyo yan. Alright, siguro iniisip ninyo ngayon, papaano kayo degradean? Last year, ang home economics ay may 3 components pagdating sa grading system. 20% for written works, 60 for performance tasks, 20 again for periodical test. Siguro nabalitaan nyo na sa mga balita na sa TV, sa GMA, even sa FB na wala na kayong periodical test. Paano yun? 80% na lang. Ang HE mali. Okay. Wala na kayong periodical test, pero may mga pagkukuhanan pa rin ng inyong grades. Alright, there are different types of assessment. Formative assessment and summative assessment. Diyan na kayo kukuhanan ng grades sa mga test. Ano nga ba yung formative assessment? Ayan, formative assessment or formative evaluation, formative feedback, or assessment for learning including diagnostic testing is a range of formal and informal assessment procedures conducted by teachers during the learning process in order to modify teaching and learning activities to improve students' attainment. Kapag sinabing formative assessment, ito yung halimbawa quizzes at the end of the lesson or even yung recitation. That is formative. Kumbaga tinetest ng teacher kung ano ba talaga yung naiintindihan ninyo. Kapag hindi nyo gets, iibahin yung way ng pagtuturo. That is formative assessment. So, hindi siya recorded. Next is summative assessment. A summative assessment is an event that occurs at the end of the learning period to measure the extent to which the learners have mastered the essential learning competencies, the result of which are used as basis as computing grades. So, ayun yon. Ang formative hindi recorded, yung summative, ayun siya used as a basis as for computing grades yan. For example, magpa-test ako during your asynchronous session, nagbigay ako ng link, halimbawa, ng Google Form. Tapos sasabihin ko sa inyo, okay, this will be recorded. That is summative. Okay, usually that is at the end of an essential learning competency. Sasabihin ko naman yun. Next. Okay, so this is the component for grading system. The distribution of summative assessment components per learning area for grades 1 to 10. Makita nyo rin dito yung sa ibang subject ninyo kung paano kayo nila gigradean. Ayan, so tayo, ito yung nasa dulo. MAPE, EPP, TLE. 30% written work. Ano ba yung mga nasa written work? Mga quizzes, mga assignment, doon magagaling yung 30 points or 30% ng inyong grade. Yung 70% naman sa performance task. Ano ba yung mga performance task? Ito yung sabi ko, di ba, may binigay na akong number 1 performance task, yung puzzle. Nagugupitin ninyo, ipiprint nyo yung page 15, gugupitin ninyo para mabuo yung puzzle. That will be included in 70%. Example ng computation. Written work 30% Kunyari, itong mga na HPS, ito yung highest possible score. Yan, ito yung mga highest, teka lang, ito yung mga highest possible score. So, sa written works, dito, sa example, 100 yung pinakamataas. Kunyari si Ella, siya yung estudyante, ang nakuha niya sa unang quiz 20, 22. Ay, yung mga score niya kunyari, yung mga lumalabas. So, ang total is 145. Yung 145 na yan, i-divide pa yan sa 160 para makuha yung PS or yung tinatawag na percentage score. Ayun, 90.625. Ibig sabihin ba yun na yung grade? Hindi pa. Yung 90.625 na yan, ito times pa yan sa 30% equals 27.187. So, yung 145 yan na score, ang equivalent lang is 27.187. Ayan siya. 27.19 kasi ni-round off na. Next, ito yung performance task. Ganun ulit. Ito kunyari yung mga highest possible score, total of 100. Ito yung mga score niya kunyari. Ang total, 100. 100 over divided by 120 para makuha yung percentage is 83.33. Itong 83.33, i-multiply pa sa 70%. So, 58.33. Okay? So, yung score niya sa written work, ito lang, 27.19. Dito sa mga performance task, 58. So, nakikita mo, kapag walang written work, bagsak. Lalong bagsak kapag walang performance task. So, ang magiging initial grade is Pagsasamahin yung 27.19 at saka 58.33 equals 85.52 or 86. Ayan. May mga tanong ba? Malinaw? So, let me introduce sa last part. Ang aming department head, Ma'am Leticia Turaray. Siya yung department head ng PLE Home Economics. So, susunod naman, ayan, kami yung mga grade 8 teacher. Ito ako, nasa taas. I am your teacher. Nasa taas ako dahil hindi kami kasi sa baba. Joke. Hindi, ito si Ma'am Cecil, si Ma'am Muerong, si Ma'am Lahanilaw, si Ma'am Maniling, at si Sir Digito. I am also the master teacher of Home Economics Department. So kapag nakita niyo sila, kilala niyo na yung mga grade 7 teacher, di ba? Babatiin niyo sila kapag normal na. Ito rin, sila yung mga kasamahan ko sa grade 8. Alright? That's it. And just a reminder, every morning you need to log in the attendance and then sa afternoon, around 3:30, babalik kayo dun sa classroom dun sa unang at post kung nasaan yung attendance to log out. Okay? Any questions? None? Thank you for listening.